We're here at Bella Italia today to introduce you to our new weekly recipe. This week's recipe is a crostata, an Italian cake. Actually, it's a pie with a crust, dough, and in this case, strawberry jam. You can do it with whatever jam you like, or fresh fruit, or custard, or ricotta. We'll make several of these along the time. This slice is here because when I made it yesterday and we cut it right out of the oven, all the jam basically went all over. It was way too warm yet. And you can, as you can see, actually when the pie cools down, the jam stays where it's supposed to be, where on the slice. It's a real easy dough to make, fast, good. It's made with only butter, sugar, eggs, flour, and not much more really. So I hope you'll enjoy the recipe and you'll try making this cake. Have a great day. Hello friends! We're here today to prepare a new recipe which is going to be an Italian crostata. To make a crostata you need 2 1/4 cups of Italian 00 flour, half a cup of sugar, lemon and orange zest. These are pretty much about half a lemon and half an orange. 1/3 of a teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of salt, 3 eggs, 6 1/2 tablespoons of butter, and then you'll need jam. In my case, this time we're using an Austrian strawberry jam. We are going to transfer everything on my working side there, and we'll be back in a second. So here we are, much better to work on this surface than on the other one so that you can actually see what I do. First thing you have to do is to add all the dried ingredients, so sugar, baking powder, oops, salt. Give it just a little bit of a stir, and then our zests, and then add butter. You can work better with a cold butter. The dough that's used for the pasta frolla, for the crostata, which is called pasta frolla, is a kind of sensitive dough, so you don't need to work it too much, because otherwise you will have a hard dough as a result and a hard crostata. Pinch just a little bit butter with flour so that it's not going to be completely separated, and then add the eggs. Two. And 3. There are some people that like to work directly on the surface. I try always to minimize the mess that's involved in doing something like this, and so I'd rather start the dough in a bowl, and then when it's just slightly incorporated, put everything on the working surface. Now, all you have to do is start kneading until all the butter is basically nicely and smoothly combined to all the ingredients. It won't take too long, and you don't need to over knead basically your dough, because otherwise the butter warms up too much and the flour stresses and you end up having a real bad dough. And it's quite easy to work with this recipe. There's enough humid ingredients for you to work with. See, it's almost already combined. Now this will be too much dough for the crostata itself. With whatever leftovers of the dough, you can either make cookies or just wrap it up and freeze it for future use. Just add a little bit of flour on your surface because otherwise it'll stick all over. And we're pretty much done. See, it didn't take too long. Smooth, nice, perfectly combined. Now, wrap it with paper wrap and put it in the refrigerator for at least 30 minutes. This will give butter the time to cold again and will make a much better dessert. And here we go. See you in about half an hour, 40 minutes. And we're back. I just pulled the dough out of the fridge. First thing we have to do is to just spread some butter on your cake pan, on your pie pan. Make sure you cover, you nicely grease all the sides of your pie pan, and then a little bit of flour and tilt it until you have your entire pan covered. See? Now, and wrap. Dust your working surface a little. Flatten down your dough and start rolling it out. Whoop. A little bit of flour. And turn. Remember to keep your dough and your working surface floured, otherwise it'll stick a lot. This is kind of a sticky dough, but it's really, really good. Now, size, shape is not too important because you're going to have excess dough anyway, so you will be cutting it out. And okay, you have to consider that you have to be about half a centimeter, which is 1/4 of an inch probably, thick. And roll it on your rolling pin. Turn it upside down. And lay it on your pie dish. Okay. In the meantime, we switched on the oven at 375. Now we're going to cut out all the excess dough, and we're going to decorate it a little bit with this dough, but we're going to have leftovers, so I'm going to freeze it for today. Oops. Okay. Now, poke the bottom of your dough. This will allow it not to kind of form bubbles. Basically, it will allow steam to escape. And pour your jam in. Personally, I like quite thick jams for cakes, so that when we cut it after cooking it, it won't pour and escape all over. You don't really need too much jam. Just nicely cover the bottom of your cake. So flatten down, and we'll start with a little bit of decoration. Okay. I'm gonna do them just to make sort of a griddle on top of it. Roll out, or you can use a rolling pin and then just cut the stripes you want. And try to make them pretty much all about the same size. And stick them on your dough. This is not going to take long. And you can do it like 3, 4, depending on how you like it. And okay. And we're almost done. See, this is pretty much the longest part of the cake preparation. But we're really almost done. Short one here. Yeah. Okay, so now we're just giving it a little bit of decoration, and we're almost ready to go. Okay. So, this is pretty much done, and we're gonna bake it for 35 to 45 minutes until it's basically golden. And then you finish kneading this and just freeze it, make cookies, do whatever you want with whatever's left over. See you when the cake is ready. And I just pulled out the cake from the oven. See how nice and golden it is. Okay. Right. Take it down here. And it smells great. And here it is. It's still steaming hot, so jam is going all over, but pretty much this is the size of the slice. And as said, jam is going down because it's too hot, but it was nice and golden, perfectly done. It took about 25 minutes actually with my oven. Every single oven is different, so keep an eye on it when you're baking it. And we hope we will be together soon for another video recipe, and have a great day.